Hello students, welcome to my live teaching learning session of BPAG 174 Sustainable Development. Today we will discuss about Block 3, Unit 10, Role of Education in Sustainable Development. You know that sustainable development at present it's a very important concept, and sustainable development is that type of development in which present generation needs as well as future generation needs both must be satisfied. If future generation should compromise or sacrifice and present generation can fulfill their needs but future generation can't, that type of development will not be called sustainable development. And there is a basic difference between three concepts. One is economic growth, second is economic development, and third is sustainable development. These three concepts are different from each other. Economic growth is related with national income and per capita income. If both increases continuously for the long time period, that is economic growth. If national income, per capita income, and social welfare of the economy increases or social welfare of the country people rises, that is called economic development. But sustainable development is related with environmental protection and climate change when we use all non-renewable resources in such a manner so that present generation needs and future generation needs both can be satisfied, then we can achieve sustainable development. Sustainable development not only include environmental protection, it also includes reduction in poverty, reduction in unemployment, improved standard of living of the country people, fresh water, fresh air, sanitation, education, peace, and so many other goals are also included in sustainable development. Today we will discuss about education for sustainable development. You know, education play very important role in each and every person's life. Without education, we don't have any knowledge about what to do and what type of things we should do for improving our status and standard of living and how we can contribute in economy's GDP in a better way. So education is very important, and if education is very important, then it can also helps in the achievement of sustainable development also. So in this session, education, why education is very important for the achievement of sustainable development and what role education play in sustainable development. Today we will discuss about all these things and it will cover whole unit 10 and block 3. This is the last unit of block 3. Let us start from what is the meaning of education and what is education for sustainable development. In short form, we can say that ESD. Here E is education, S is sustainable, D is development. Education for sustainable development. It seeks to develop the knowledge, skills, perspectives, and values to empower people of all ages to assume responsibility for creating and enjoying a sustainable future. Education for sustainable development is also a process of learning how to make decisions that consider the long-term future of the economy, ecology, and equity of all. It means education for sustainable development is a process which tells us that how we can make a decision so that we can get long-term future of the economy, good future of the economy, ecology, and equity of all. That is the meaning of education for sustainable development. Now, next is education for sustainable development. At present or today, education does not sufficiently prepare learner to contribute to sustainable development. In each and every country and almost all the developed countries, most of the country people are highly educated and well educated, but they are hampering the environmental due to increase in industrial activities. They are not supporting the environment, they are degrading the environment. It means education today does not sufficiently prepare learner to contribute to sustainable development. Themes like climate change or biodiversity need to be integrated into teaching and learning. That's why students must have to read this paper, Sustainable Development, which is the need of the present scenario. At present and in contemporary world, at present, this sustainable development is very important concept, and all of the people, all of the world people must know about this sustainable development concept and how they can give contribute in the achievement of this sustainable development and the goals of this sustainable development. They must know about these things. So, teaching and learning needs to be designed in a participatory, learner centered way. So, education, which is not sufficiently prepared at present to give a more contribution in sustainable development. So, themes like climate change, biodiversity, it must be integrated in teaching and learning. And teaching and learning needs to be redesigned in a participatory, learner centered way. Now, importance of education for sustainable development. What is the importance of education for sustainable development? Education. Basically, education provides our basic development. People do their basic development with the help of education. If people are educated, they can get a higher pay scale job and they can improve their standard of living. And but if they improve their standard of living, is it possible they will contribute in sustainable development also? No way. People do their basic development. If they have education, it means we can't say that they will give more contribution in sustainable development also, because without knowing how they can contribute it and without not without understanding this concept of sustainable development, how can they give contribution in the achievement of this goal? So people do their basic development with the help of education and preparation of confident and independent student and create equality. If people are educated, then all of the country people can make equality between among all of the country people, and it gives us priority for self activity. Education gives us the way of thinking about other development and permanent type of development. How we can achieve? We can permanently achieve development with the help of education. So, importance of education for sustainable development is that people do their basic development. It can prepare a preparation of confident and independent student, create equality, priority for self activity, thinking about other development like economic development, economic growth, sustainable development, and permanent type development. We all know about these things with the help of education. So education play very important role. Now, what is the meaning of education? Education is a process of developing the personality and creativity of the individuals so that they can in turn help in promoting healthy society. Education is actually a process which influences individual capabilities and social environment, economic development, ethical surroundings, and above all, cultural adaptability. It means education is the combination of all these things, and it's a really a process, actually a process which influence individuals' capability, social environment, economic development, ethical surroundings, and above all, cultural adaptability. So, education is expected to evolve principles, methodologies, and guidelines for the application of knowledge that could benefit society. So, this is the meaning of education. Education is a continuous process, it's a long term process. Education is a process of developing the personality and creativity of the individuals so that they can help in promoting a healthy society. Now, education for sustainable development should include the following thrust. One is promotion and improvement of basic education related to sustainable development. It means government should promote and improve the basic education which must be related to sustainable development. Second is reorientation of existing education at all levels. Either it may be primary level, primary education level means basic, or secondary level, or higher in order to address sustainable development. It means the education level which is existing at present, it should be reorientation of existing education at all levels like primary, secondary, and higher in order to address sustainable development. Third is development of public awareness and understanding of sustainability. It means public should be aware about environmental degradation, climate change, greenhouse gases, ozone depletion, soil degradation, pollutions, many type of pollution like noise pollution, air pollution, water pollution, and all these things which are adversely impact to our environment, people should aware, and public awareness is very necessary to understand the concept of sustainability. So development of public awareness and understanding of sustainability. Next is learning and development of training methods in the world of sustainable development. Government should introduce learning and development of training methods for the achievement of sustainable development at world level. In this way, sustainable development depends upon the provision of specialized training programs to ensure that all sectors of society means all people who are engaged in, some are engaged in primary sector, some are engaged in secondary sector or manufacturing sector, and others are engaged in tertiary sector. All sectors of the society have the necessary skills to perform their work in a sustainable manner. In agriculture sector, if farmers have awareness regarding the use of fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides, and organic farming, they know about organic farming and they don't use chemical fertilizers, then they can save environmental and protection can be made. Same as if manufacturing sector in industrial activities, if businessmen or entrepreneurs use green technology, then environmental can be protected and sustainable development can be achieved. And in tertiary sector, green technology can also use in agriculture sector. Green technology can also use in industrial sector and tertiary sector. And the uses of green technology uh, help to achieve this sustainable development. So, education for sustainable development should include all these things like promotion and improvement of basic education, reorientation of existing education at all levels, like primary, secondary, and higher. Development of public awareness is very necessary, and the understanding of sustainability, learning and development of training methods in the world of sustainable development. In this way, sustainable development depends upon the provisions of specialized training programs to ensure that all sectors of society have the necessary skills to perform their work in a sustainable manner. Now, importance of education in 21st century world citizens. What is the importance of education at present in 21st century? Education is a public good and a fundamental human right also, and a basis for guaranteeing the realization of other rights. It's our fundamental right that each and every person should get education. That's why education is universalized. At present, education is universalized. Universalization of education is government do this thing that education is universal for each and everyone because education is a public good. You can't deny, you can't you can't make any person to give, you can't exclude any person to get education. So education is a public good which is non-excludable and non-rivalries. Education is essential for peace, tolerance, human fulfillment, and sustainable development. Next is education is the key for achieving full employment and poverty eradication. Education is very necessary for removing unemployment and eradicating poverty because these two problems are twins problems, and these problems can be reduced or removed with the help of education and capital formation. Capital formation is also very necessary for breaking the vicious circle of poverty, and education is the key for achievement of full employment and poverty eradication. Education facilitates intercultural dialogues and fosters respect for cultural, religious, and linguistic diversity, which are vital for achieving social cohesion and justice. So education facilitates for all types of person and in all cultural, religious, linguistic diversity. In all these things, if you want to achieve social cohesion and justice, then education is very necessary. And education promotes mutual understandings, tolerance, friendship, and peace. So this is the main importance of education in 21st century world citizen. Now next is sustainable development was a major focus of the United Nations conference. It means in United Nations conference, the sustainable development was the main focus point, and on environment and development, UNCED, United Nation uh, Conference on Environment and Development held in Brazil in June 1992. The achievement of sustainable development globally is likely to prove as one of the greatest challenge to the world community in view of the increasing population or continued population growth and rising levels of consumption per capita. As the World Commission on Environment and Development observed efforts to achieve sustainable development. And sustainable development are being carried out amidst the additional pressure of the such global difficulties as climate change, ozone depletion, and species losses. This report was given by WCED in 1987, and WCED full form is World Commission on Environment and Development. It was observed by WCED in 1987 that at present climate is changing, ozone ozone depletion is going on, and species loss due to environmental degradation, and it will create so many problems and difficulties in the achievement of sustainable development and the goals of all sustainable the all goals of sustainable development. So UNCED, the summit of Earth, which was held in Brazil in June 1992, that was give a more focus on which topic? Sustainable development. And this concept was rise mainly arise at that time when it when they all country people feel the need of this sustainable development. Now, the sustainability aspect requires that the environmental administrators should aim to, if we want to achieve this sustainable development, that this sustainability requires so many things. And the people who are called environmental administrator, their aim should be one is maintain ecosystem and related ecological processes essential for the functioning of the biosphere. First aim is for the environmental administrator, that is to maintain ecosystem and related ecological processes essential for the functioning of the biosphere. Second main aim is to preserve biological diversity by ensuring the survival and conservation of all species of flora and fauna in their natural habitats. Third aim is observe the principle of optimum sustainable yield in the exploitation of living natural resources and ecosystem. It means we should use optimally all the available resources but not too much exploited all the natural resources and ecosystem. If we rapidly exploit all the available natural resources or fossil fuel or non-renewable resources, and we degrade our ecosystem or ecological processes, then sustainable development target will be difficult to achieve. So, the sustainability aspect or environmental administrator should aim to observe the principles of optimum sustainable yield in the exploitation of the natural resources and ecosystem. Next aim is prevent or abate significant environmental pollution or harm. It means uh, environmental administrator uh, must try to reduce all types of pollution which are degrading the environment. For example, air pollution, noise pollution, soil degradation, ozone depletion, greenhouse gases effect, and global warming. All these are the main pollution which are giving more contribution in degrading the environment. So environment should be protected, and environmental administrator should aim to prevent or abate significant environmental pollution or harm. Next aim is establish adequate standards of environmental protection. It means environmental administrator should establish the adequate or sufficient standards of environmental protection. Next is undertake or require prior assessments for to ensure that major law policies, projects, and technologies contribute to sustainable development. It means government or environmental administrator should undertake that type of assessments which ensure that major laws, policies, projects, and technologies which will give more contribution in the achievement of sustainable development. Next is make all relevant information public without delay in all cases of harmful or potentially harmful releases of pollutants, especially radioactive releases. It means radioactive uh, releases are very harmful, and it is very dangerous for environmental, and it gives mainly hamper the environmental, and all these radioactive releases and releases of pollutants, releases of greenhouse gases, and all harmful gases which are degrading the environment, make all relevant information without any delay, because if government or environmental administrator don't have any information regarding these radioactive releases or gases which are hampering the environment badly, and then they can't save or prevent the environment. That's why make all relevant informations public without delay in all cases of harmful or potentially harmful releases of pollutants, greenhouse gases, especially radioactive releases. Next is education is very necessary. You know that education for sustainable development should also include all these following thrust which we have done. Promotion and improvement of basic education, how education can give more contribution in the achievement of sustainable development. You know that education provides promotion and improvement. Government should promote and improve all basic educations, and reorientation of existing education, learning and training methods should be developed for the achievement of this sustainable development, and all sectors of the society should have take the necessary skills should take necessary skills to perform their work in a sustainable manner. So this that's why we can say that education is very necessary for the achievement of sustainable development. Now here is the role of education in sustainable development. This is according to your block 3, Unit 10. In that block or Unit 10, role of education in sustainable development, how we can explain this thing. Sustainable development, as already noted, was formally initiated for the world community in the year 1992. In it, education occupies an important place. It is linked with environmental themes. The tragedy triggered by the COVID 19 pandemic. This pandemic presents the world with an incredible opportunity to build back better. Academic institutions, be they colleges, schools, or universities, must double their efforts to ensure that the world's policy makers and leaders are provided with the information they need to solve the increasingly complex developmental problems. And what are the increasingly complex development problems? There are so many problems which are increasing at present. First is increasing population growth. At present, whole world population is 8 trillion. And if population is increasing at the fastest rate, then it will be very difficult to achieve this sustainable development, because as well as population increasing, so many other problems which is connected with population growth are also increasing, because environmental degradation is going on and climate is changing, global warming at present exists, and greenhouse gases effect also degrading the environment, and unemployment problem, poverty, non-sanitation, and non-availability of fresh air, fresh water, and there is no peace and harmony in whole world. So all these are the increasingly complex development problem, and education helps us in the in solving these problems and the achievement of this sustainable development target. Now, next is education for sustainable development promotes and encourages sustainable society. Quality education is an important key and tool for achieving a more sustainable society. At present, uh, in India, education system is also going to very uh, good change. Education is changing, but previously, education system was not very good, because education, the previous system of education only tells us about the subjective knowledge of anything, but not given any type of objective knowledge and professional knowledge or vocational knowledge or training or skills. But at present, skill enhancement and value addition and other courses, professional courses, vocational courses, and skill enhancement courses are also included at present education system. And that type of education which improve the quality of the country people, that is called qualitative education. Education must be qualitative, not quantitative. So, quality education is an important key and tool for achieving a more sustainable society. So, this was vociferously emphasized at the United Nations World Summit in Johannesburg in 2002, where the reorientation of current education system was outlined as the key to sustainable development. It may be noted that education for sustainable development promotes the development of the knowledge, skills, values, and actions which is required to sustainable society, which ensure environmental protection and conservation, promotes social equity, justice, and encourages economic well-being or status and standard of living of the all country people. Traditionally, India has been a sustainable society, and this education for sustainable development aims to develop knowledge about environment. You know that quality education is very important thing for the achievement of this sustainable development, and education for sustainable development also aims to develop knowledge about environment. The concept of education for sustainable development, in short form, we can say that ESD, developed basically from environmental education, which has sought to develop the knowledge, skills, values, and behavior in people to give more attention to protection of environment. The aim of education for sustainable development is to enable people to make decisions and carry out actions without compromising the planet Earth. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to global crisis that is severely restrictive in nature and could hamper the ability to meet unprecedented challenges. So we all should know about this thing, that how we can save or secure our environment from the harmful gases, from harmful radioactive releases, and all harmful pesticides or chemicals which are degrading the environment. So education for sustainable development basically developed for and the environmental education, which is very necessary, and its main aim is to develop the knowledge, skills, values, and behavior in people to give more attention to the protection of environment. Next is climate change and environmental degradation are happening much faster than expected. It means we are moving towards economic growth, economic development, but we are losing this sustainable development at the cost of this sustainable development. As we know that if we want to gain something, we have to lose something. But that is not called optimality or optimum decision or rational decision. If we want to take the rational decision, then without hampering the environment, we should reach on the path of development. It means if we want to gain higher growth rate of the economy, higher development of the economy, but we should not degrade the environment. If environmental protection is uh, going on with the achievement of economic growth and development, then sustainable development will be achieved. So climate change and environmental degradation are happening much faster than expected. The consequences are being felt around the world. The wildfires in America, Australia, Europe, and Siberia have broken records for their ferocity. In 2020, flooding in South Asia has forced more than 25 million people to abandon their homes. The point is that the education for sustainable development aims to broaden knowledge and behavior of people about the human made problems. The problems which are generated by human beings, which are created by human beings, that can be solved by human beings also. If problem is generated by human beings, then it must be solved by human beings. And environmental degradation problem is created by human beings. And human beings have mind, and they can use their mind with the help of education and with the help of knowledge. They can improve their skills, and they can increase their value addition. They can give more contribution in securing the environmental degradation. So the point is that the education for sustainable development aims to broaden knowledge and behavior of people about the human-made problems. The aim of education for sustainable development is to enable people to make decisions and carry out actions without compromising the earth resources. We know that in whole world there are two types of main resources. One is renewable resources and other is non-renewable resources. Renewable resources we can regenerate, we can make further for use. But non-renewable resources can't remake and can't regenerate for the requirement of the country, people, or whole world. So we should use carefully for all the available non-renewable resources so that present generation needs as well as future generation needs both can be satisfied in a better way. And there are three types of resources mainly which helps in the achievement of development, growth, and sustainable development. And these three resources are: one is human resource, second is capital resource or physical resources, and third is natural resources. And all these three resources helps in the achievement of growth and development as well as sustainable development. In some countries, they are rich in human resources but not rich in capital resources and natural resources. But if uh, human resources and all types of resources play very important role in the achievement of growth, development, and sustainable development. Human beings are the main thing which can create problems and which can also give the solution of all problems. So if we humans are highly educated and human beings are well health or good health, then they can give more contribution in the achievement of sustainable development. Now next is the education for sustainable development outlines integration of principles and practices of sustainable development. The goal of the decade 2005 to 14, as outlined by UNESCO, is to integrate the principles, values, and practices of sustainable development into all aspects and dimensions of education. Thus, it aims to encourage changes in behavior that will create a more sustainable future. So, education for sustainable development outlines integrated or the principles and practices of sustainable development. It means the principle, it must be integrate the principles, values, and practices of sustainable development into all aspects and all dimensions of education that will encourage in the behavior that will create a more sustainable future. Now, next is to promote education for sustainable development. The UN, United Nations Decade of Education for Sustainable Development 2005 to 14 was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly with the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization designated as the lead agency for promotion throughout the decade. The decade pursues a global vision of a world where everyone has the opportunity to benefit from quality education and learn the values, behavior, and lifestyle required for a sustainable future and positive societal transformations. Next is education for sustainable development focuses on environmental themes and concerns. ESG also focuses on environmental themes and concerns. The ESG, it means Education for Sustainable Development, offers a beautiful vision of future with a dominant focus on environmental concerns. It also addresses themes such as poverty alleviation, citizenship, peace, ethics, governance, justice, human rights, gender equality, gender equality, and social equality, and corporate social responsibility, natural resources management, and biological diversity. It means ESD mainly focuses on all these themes such as poverty alleviation, citizenship, peace, ethics, governance, justice, human rights, gender, equality, corporate responsibility, natural resources management, and biological diversity. It is generally recognized that certain characteristics carry values for the successful implementation of education for sustainable development, reflecting the equal importance of both the learning process and the outcomes of the education process. Adapted from United Nations Decades of Sustainable Development 2005 to 14. This definition was given by UN in which year 2005 to 14. This was the UN Decade of Sustainable Development, which tells us that ESD mainly focuses on these themes and concerns, which is very necessary for the achievement of this sustainable development. Now, what is the vision on education for sustainable development? The vision on education for sustainable development is in the beginning of 21st century, the international community realized the value of education for sustainable development. It now strongly feels that we now need to foster through education the values, behavior, the lifestyle required for a sustainable future. Education for sustainable development has an important role to play in our lifestyle and behavior. Education is seen as a process of learning as to how to make decisions that affect us. So this is the vision of on education for sustainable development. The main vision is that at present in 21st century, the international community or globally it was realized that the value of education for sustainable development is very necessary. And it now strongly feels that we need the foster education, the values, behavior, and the lifestyle required for sustainable future. So education is seen as a process of learning as to how to make decisions that affects us and that helps us in the achievement of this goal. Now it is concerned with the future of the economy, environment, and social well-being of all communities. This vision is related with our future of the economy, environment, and social well-being of all the communities. Building the capacity for such future-oriented thinking is a key task of education. This is a new vision of education. This new vision of education helps the people in all ages to realize this aim of education in the context of sustainable development. It helps students to understand the world in which they study, play, and live a little better. It enables them to address the complex problems of society and environmental, such as illiteracy, poverty, wasteful consumption, environmental degradation, urban decay, population growth, gender inequality, health issues, and violation of human rights that threaten our future. All these are the complex problems of society. And without solving these problems of the society, environmental protection can't be done. So, education for sustainable development enables them to address these complex problems of society and environment. And what are the problems? Such as illiteracy. We know that in India, near about 40% people are still illiterate. And in India, 70% people are living in rural areas. Only in 30% people are living in urban areas. There is a wide gap or differences in between of rural and urban people percentage. So urban decay and population growth, you know that population is increasing at present in all over the world. And poverty is also a very big problem. And poor people uh, poor people give more contribution in creating the problem of environmental degradation and the wasteful consumption, environmental degradation, gender inequality, health problems, and violation of human rights. All these problems are complicated problem of the society that threatens our future. So we should solve these problems for making sustainable growth and for securing our economy, environment, and society or social well-being of all the communities. That's why education for sustainable development is very necessary. The vision of education stresses on a holistic, integrated, and interdisciplinary approach to development of knowledge and skills needed for a sustainable future, as well as changes in values, behavior, and lifestyles. This requires us to reorient educational curriculum to programs, policies, practices in order to empower people, especially youth, to make decisions and act in culturally appropriate, and locally relevant ways to address and readdress the environmental problems that threaten our common future. This enables people of all ages to develop and evaluate an alternative vision of a sustainable future and fulfill this vision through working creativity with others. So the vision of education mainly emphasized on a holistic, integrated, and interdisciplinary approach to development of knowledge, skills needed for sustainable future, as well as change in values, behavior, and lifestyle. Now, thus, basic education is a key to nation's capacity to develop and achieve sustainability targets. The basic education can improve agricultural productivity, it can enhance the status of women, reduce population growth rate, increase environmental protection, and generally raise the living standard of the country people. The pandemic of COVID 19 has firmly established the need to place sustainability towards the top of India's agenda in economic times 2020. So, this basic education is a key or it play very important role to nation's capacity to develop and achieve sustainability targets. And what are the targets of sustainability? The basic target of sustainability and the basic education can improve agriculture productivity. It helps in organic farming and reduces the harmful or chemical fertilizers. It can enhance the status of women and reduce population growth rate, increasing environmental protection, and generally raises the living standard of the country people. Now we can conclude from the today's session, which is the Unit 10, role of education in sustainable development. Uh, with the above discussion of all these things, the visions of education for sustainable development and how education for sustainable development helps in the achievement of this sustainable development target or goals, and how basic education play very important role in the achievement of so many targets, and education can solve all the complex problems which are created by human beings, and without solving these problems we can't achieve this sustainable development. So we can conclude from the today's session that quality education for sustainable development is recognized as an important goal of the United Nations General Assembly resolution in 2015. Education is the most important single factor in the achievement of rapid economic development and technological progress, and increasing a social order founded on the values of freedom, social justice, and equal opportunity. If we get quality education, that quality education enables people to develop more, and they can use green technologies and that type of technology which helps in the achievement of sustainable development. And programs of education lie at the base of the effort to forge the bonds of common citizenship, to harness the energies of people, and to develop the natural and human resources of every part of the country. In a word, education is regarded as the key to development and the fundamental prerequisite of social and economic justice, which are the twin pillars of the welfare state. So now we can conclude that education play a very important role in the achievement of sustainable development. Thank you.